talking physics now? Give me a real quick second to respond to the other points in your video, and then we can move on to physics. Feminism means equality, which is obviously a really good thing, but unfortunately people on both sides of the argument have completely distorted it beyond this point, and we should talk about it in the future, not now. When compared to the books, the Hobbit movies, they're completely intolerable, but when you look at them separate from the books, they're actually pretty good. Miniseries make for great finite series because they're limited to a certain amount of time, and in the very near future I plan to check out one of the series that you mentioned. Know what else makes for a great finite series? Web series! And yes, Orange is the New Black and House of Cards do count, and I've seen them both, and they're great! But there's also a lot of really great web series on YouTube that you should totally check out if you haven't already. And speaking of Orange is the New Black, I think that's a great show to discuss as well, because it brings up the question of whether or not people are inherently good or bad. But that's a discussion for another day. Okay. That was fun. I feel a little dizzy. So let's talk about time. I'm pretty sure that the topic you were trying to explain is not actually time, but rather space-time. Space-time is an abstract dimension, whereas time is a way of measuring things as they relate to that dimension. So consider it like a graph, where time is the y-axis and space is the x-axis. We consider something to be fast when it has a high space-time ratio. We consider it to be slow when it has a low space-time ratio. This is also why, as far as we know, nothing can travel faster than light, because light has the highest possible space-to-time ratio. This is also probably why light and glass relate to each other in such an interesting way, as discussed in this book that you lent to me, Quantum Electrodynamics, which I still have to return to you. One of the reasons why the interaction between light and glass is so unique is because, on a chemical level, glass is neither solid nor liquid. A mass is considered to be solid when the particles are compressed together, making them unable to move. And something is considered a liquid when the particles are far enough away from each other that they're capable of moving around. And of course, a gas has particles which are spaced even further. But glass is different in that even though you would assume that it's a solid, the particles aren't actually compressed together. They're spaced apart like a liquid, but the particles in glass have slowed down so much that it's as though they're not moving at all. This is why if you ever look at, for instance, really old glass windows, you'll see streaky patterns in it, because even though the particles are moving imperceptibly, they're still moving ever so slowly. Physics. It's awesome. But yes, I am interested by these kind of things, and we can talk about them all you want. Let's just talk about science! Crazy science! I think I just made an Orphan Black reference, and I don't even watch that show. I should probably spend less time on the internet. I hope your co-op's going well, and I will hear from you next week.